Hi, my name is Adam Loyd, heading up Marketing and Communications for Networks at Ericsson. Welcome to Tech Unveiled. In today's show, we continue to dive deeper into the topic of Open RAN, addressing several so-called elephants in the room. What does it really take to deliver TCO benefits across multi-vendor Open RAN? Can it really deliver at the highest performance? And how can it accelerate the service innovation? With me today are two experts who can help us understand how industry alignment and standardization are at the heart of delivering on performance, cost and scale promises of multi-vendor Open RAN. I'm happy to introduce Patrik Birgersson, who's the Total Product Owner for Intelligent Automation Platform at Ericsson, to shed some light on the services and software side of Open RAN. Hi Patrik.
Good to meet you.
And Martin Bäckström, who's the Head of Open RAN Strategy at Ericsson, with a deep knowledge of the network side of things. Martin, welcome.
Hi, Adam.
Shall we take a coffee?
Yes.
Good of you to join me. Okay, Martin, the mainstream story of multi-vendor Open RAN is around heralding a new era of openness. Now, disaggregation sounds amazing, but also potentially challenging. Because if not done right, there's a cost element as well. How well then is the industry delivering on this promise of openness?
So Open RAN is really a collaborative effort in our industry. That effort is something our industry is used to and Ericsson has a high competence in. It goes both into writing specification in O-RAN Alliance in 3GPP, as well as practical testing and different way of interworking. I think we have it all as assets in our industry, even if there are some new entrants coming into the telecom industry with this change. It's still a paradigm shift on how we really build network that we need to cater for here. But the tradition of industry alignment and cooperation in our industry is so strong. So together with the baseline that we have established in the Open RAN area, in the O-RAN Alliance, I think we have the foundation to be successful here.
And also when you have a disaggregated network and you introduce multiple vendors, you're of course adding complexity to the picture and you're introducing potentially a lot of new points for compromise and weakness. And we as Ericsson, we're working hard to ensure that we can build a disaggregated secure network. As an example, we are very engaged in the O-RAN security focus group to drive the security work there and to improve the specifications to allow for required levels of security.
So the name of the game of multi-vendor openness is very much not at any cost, but also not at the expense of both performance and scale, right?
Absolutely. So the de-risking of this technology change is really an important thing, because the operators cannot really take any degradation of the performance or any increase of the total cost of ownership. And therefore we need to do this in steps and to consider when it is introduced. I think that some people might think that Ericsson has been a laggard in this field. We are not. We are the key element in O-RAN Alliance. We have been driving this, and over that I think we take it in the right pace and we will be able to implement this. One should also remember that the most difficult portions, which are the multi-vendor portion of O-RAN, is not expected to happen more than in 5 to 10% of the implementations 5 years from now, 2028.
So can we say that by and large this is about de-risking multi-vendor openness with standardization?
Yes, Adam, I think that's a fair assessment of the situation, because this is really a big collaborative effort of our industry. And I think we have over the years shown that we can build the multi-vendor systems at scale with performance in other areas, and we will be able to do that in the O-RAN area as well.
I would add to that the importance of the well-aligned specified management interfaces. And in the O-RAN context, where that happens is the service management and orchestration, also referred to often as SMO, where you have the various entities of the disaggregating RAN meeting the application, and it all comes together in the SMO. And the applications in the SMO context, those are referred to as RApps, and those rely on, so to say, well-defined, well-governed interfaces, feature-rich, so that you can implement applications in a lightweight manner, efficient manner, and come, so to say, quickly to market. Take as an example, if you have an operator that wants to develop a particular RAN automation use case, he's then dependent on performance data, configuration data, provided over well-defined interfaces to his AI models, and the platform allows for that, so that you can quickly develop your application, bring it into the market, do a quick prototype, and then scale it up for production. So the time to value is reduced with the approach.
So with standardization and industry alignment, then it's not just an engineering exercise, right?
No, I would definitely say that this is so to say an enabler. This is on the critical path to enable the new value in this open ecosystem. With O-RAN and SMO, we have a broad industry alignment on the architecture and on the interfaces that will enable, so to say, speeding up value creation in this ecosystem.
Good discussion so far. 3 things I want to dig into a little bit deeper. One is the frontal interface specifications. The other one is SMO, as you mentioned there. The third one is I want to dig into these cinnamon buns here, so I think it's time we took a bite from these as well.
Good idea, Adam. Thank you.
Thank you.
After those nice cinnamon buns, Martin, let's talk then open fronthaul and help us better understand how this interface, which obviously contributes a lot to the intelligence in the radio unit, how does that contribute to openness?
So the open fronthaul specification, the open fronthaul in general, is one of the most important part of the O-RAN specification. That is really what enabled that multi-vendor open RAN to come through. And therefore it's of a high importance for us in order to build this open RAN in totality. However, one should also understand that possibly some parts of the functionality that used to be part of that open fronthaul specification more will be part of the RAN software, which means that the DU will actually take over some of that functionality. So from a number of perspectives, I think this is in the center point for the efforts that we are doing on Open RAN going forward.
So if greater openness means freedom of choice, where are Ericsson in this? And if we're talking about a multi-vendor playing field, where are we?
Well, I think our operators are demanding, so to say, multi-vendor open RAN. There's no question about that. In fact, if you open up the ecosystem, you can have more players adding more innovation to the network. And if we then can, so to say, improve the performance of the RAN, we can improve the operational efficiency of the operator, reduce the TCO and so on. That is a good thing for the operators, but also for Ericsson, I would say. And with more and more vendors adapting the SMO architecture, the R1 interface and so on, there will be more players that can add value into this ecosystem.
So not to misquote Spider-Man here, but with great power comes great responsibility. And with the rise in Open RAN, there is a responsibility, surely, to the industry to deliver on the promise of openness, disaggregation, TCO, security, scale. Martin, your kind of thoughts, closing thoughts here.
I think the Open RAN change is one of the things that can drive our industry forward. The innovation possibility on particularly the SMO part, and I think that portion in itself is a good motivator for our industry to look at this technology field, implement it, and make use of it for better competitiveness in everything we are doing.
Patrik, any final thoughts?
I would agree with Martin, and I think we're looking at interesting times ahead, and it's about time to get going.
Patrik, Martin, thank you very much. Good discussion.
Thank
you, Adam.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in. Join us again on the next episode of Tech Unveiled as we continue to dive even deeper into the networks of the future. Until then, goodbye.